How to build a major scale on the keyboard or piano. First of all, let me start by letting you know that there is an interval pattern, or simply put, a formula that is generally used to build a major scale on the keyboard or piano. Now, understanding this interval pattern or formula will help you to be able to build the major scale of any note on the keyboard or piano. This formula pattern is whole step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, and half step. Let me explain what a half step and a whole step mean. A half step is simply the distance from one note to the next nearest or closest note. Take C. For example, this is C. The next nearest note to C is C sharp. So from C to C sharp is a half step. Now, this is C sharp. The next nearest note to C sharp is D. So from C sharp to D is a half step. Let's take G for instance. This is G. The next nearest note to G, that's to the right hand side, is our G sharp, right? So from G to G sharp is a half step. The next nearest note to G sharp is our A. So from G sharp to A is also a half step. I hope this is clearly understood now. Okay. A whole step is simply two half steps combined together, or a whole step is made up of two half steps. This is what I mean. From C to D is a whole step. Reason being that it combines two half steps together. Let's see that. This is C. From C to C sharp is a half step, which is one half step. From C sharp to D is another half step, which is the second half step. So when you combine the first half step with the second half step, it gives you a whole step. Do you get it? This is our F. So from F to G is a whole step. And this is because there are two half steps combined together. From F to F sharp is a half step, one half step. From F sharp to G is another half step, the second half step. This gives you a whole step. So from F to G is a whole step. Now, you would observe that if you are moving a whole step, you are skipping one note. So from C to D, you can see we skipped one note, which is C sharp. From D to E, we're skipping another note. You get it? From F to G, we're skipping one note. So if you're moving a whole step, you're simply skipping one note, because that one note gives you two half steps. Hope this is clearly understood. Okay, let's come back to our formula now and build the scale in the key of C. This is our C. So now let's try and build the major scale of C using our formula. This is our note of focus, or our starting note. So the formula says from the starting note, we move a whole step first. So I told you if we are moving a whole step, if you observe well, we are skipping one note, or we are moving two half steps. So from here to here, that's from C to D, is a whole step, simply because we are moving two half steps. From here to here, one step, half step. From here to here, another half step. So from C to D is a whole step. So from C, the next note in the scale is D. Now the formula says after whole step, we are moving another whole step. So from D, we are moving another whole step, which is E. That's the third note in the scale. So from E, the formula says we move a half step. So from E, we move to the next nearest note, which is F. That's our half step. So from F, the formula says we are moving a whole step again. So from F, we move to G. You can see we are skipping one note for the whole step. So our next note is G. From G, the formula says we are moving another whole step. So from G, we are moving to A, which is a whole step. We are skipping one note. Can you see? So from A, we are moving another whole step, as the formula says, to now B. You can see we are skipping one note. Give us the whole step from A to B. And then lastly, from B, the formula says we are moving a half step. So from here, we move a half step, which is to the next nearest note. So you can see we have our scale from C to the next C. This is the scale in the key of C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and back to 1 again in the higher octave for our number 8. Now let's build the major scale of another note. Take for instance E flat. This is E. This is our E flat. So if we're building the major scale of E flat is our starting note. So the formula says from E flat we move a whole step, meaning 2 half steps. So we skip one note. From here we skip one note, we come here. This is our second note. Now from the second note, the formula says we move another whole step. To move another whole step, we skip one note. Skip this one and we come here. This is the third note in the scale. So from this one, the formula says we move a half step. So from here, we move a half step. This is our fourth note. So from here, the formula now says we move a whole step to the next, meaning we are skipping one note. So we skip this one and we come to this one. This is our fifth note. From here, the formula says we move a whole step again. So we're skipping one note. We skip this one and we come here. This is our sixth note in the scale. So from here, the formula says we move a whole step again. So we skip one note, skip this one and we come here. This is our seventh note in the scale. And from here, lastly, the formula says we move a half step. So from here, we move a half step and we are back to our starting note again, but in the higher octave. So from E flat to another E flat, you can see. So this is our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and back to 1 again in the higher octave or 8. So you can see it is the same interval pattern or formula we used to build for the second one. And this pattern applies to every other note on the piano. If you apply the same, you get the same scale for that note of interest. I hope this is clearly understood. Alright. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next time. Bye for now.